Hey, what's going on, PTSD buddies? I'm going to do another PTSD buddy chat right now. And if you don't know what that is, that's when I sits down and does a video chat with one of the PTSD buddies. And we have, he shares, or she shares, whatever it is, the person is, they share their story and talk about PTSD and maybe give a few little tips on how they deal with their PTSD. So I'm here with Mark, and Mark, I've done chats with people all around the world, and it's nice that I'm doing a chat with a feller in Newfoundland.
Yes, man, best spot, what?
Yeah?
In Cornerville.
Yeah, oh, you're in Cornerville. Yeah, my hometown, man.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, on the other side of the island. And what's funny about this is only people from Newfoundland who's been around know this, that the weather on one side of the island is not the same as it is on the other.
No, you would think, though.
Yeah. And another thing I'm going to warn the viewers is when two Newfoundlanders get together talking, our accents could get out of control. So I promise we're going to do our best to keep it straight so people can understand.
Turn on subtitles.
Yeah. Actually, somebody asked me about that because we have a couple of members who are deaf, and they wanted to watch some of the videos. So I hear there's a program for that. I got to look into it.
That's fine.
Yeah, to add closed captioning, is it, to the videos?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So, Mark.
Yeah.
What you deal with PTSD just like all of us here.
Yeah.
Take us back to where PTSD entered your life, man. Like where did this all stem from?
I tell you what, it all started when I was about 9 or 10. As a boy. It all started back when I was sexually abused by a family member, and what I always says this is all it wasn't my mother and my father, because I just looked clear to ear, like just
right,
nothing like that there. That went on for probably about almost 5 years and stuff, which is pretty crazy when it comes to that stuff when you're so young, man. Like your innocence is taken away from you, and then when it comes to a family member, it's like someone who loves you. You know what I mean? As a family. And you know when you're hurt, this is not right, but it feels so good.
Mark, I have a 9-year-old, man, so I can't even imagine what it was like for you.
Yeah, and so I mean, it will get to the point like sometimes, you enjoy it because it feels good, but then like it's so much. I mean, your brain is still developing, man.
Yeah.
You're
only 9, man.
It doesn't even knows the basic right and wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, it didn't really. And then I say around when I was about 13, I got abused again by a male, and it was for a year it was happening at the same time. So that really fucked me up.
Yeah.
I'm swearing a lot, man. I don't know if.
Oh, that's all right, man. We swear all the time.
A bit of anger there, but that really messed me up mentally. Besides just the abuse and stuff. Like, am I a monster? Am I gay, first of all? Was a male done to me?
Yeah.
I question my sexuality, even though I knew it. But, I mean, like, you look at it like, am I? And then in my teens and then in my later teens and stuff, man, I just, the famous saying, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, like, that's all I party, drink, treated women like sex dolls or just treat them like shit. And I look back at it now after seeing counseling. I didn't notice at the time, but I was using my hurt that I had inside of me, and I was trying to spread it. I didn't want no one happy.
Like trying to bring people down to your level?
What?
You mean like trying to bring people down to your level?
Yeah, well, I was trying to, like, where I always had so much hurt and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't bother me at the time. It did, but it didn't. But it affected me in my later 20s. I'm 35 now.
Well, it sounds like it's almost like all you knew was hurt, so I can understand how you showed more hurt.
Like, I mean, my first sexual experience, I mean, whatever the age people has, but I mean, was ruined, right? And
right.
You don't, and then just the showing affection to your parents, to anyone, was gone. I mean,
right.
I closed up in a cocoon. I was distancing myself from people. Always in the shit at school or even outside school. I didn't give a shit about no one. Like, go fuck yourself, attitude. And my parents would always scratch their head, man, like, what did I do wrong? We don't smoke, we don't drink, don't do dope. What he's doing, like, I mean, my parents always wondered, like, what are we doing wrong?
Yeah, you were lashing out.
Anyway, when I was about 18 18 or so, I had a girlfriend at the time for about 2 or 3 years, which was like almost like you're married when you're that young. It just seems like a long time. But I told her about the female abuse that I went through, and she ended up getting close to the family, and she ended up going on a road trip with my mom and my sister. And when she got back, she said, "I told your mom that my mom didn't know about abuse, by the way. I kept it all hidden because I thought I'd get in trouble, right?
Right.
Why? That's usually what you think, man. When you're young like that, you're going to get shit or something. So I kept it all from the only one that knew the demons inside me was myself and the abuser. And then try to live life with your teens with a mask on, man. Just trying to act normal, and that's a bitch too, man. That's hard.
So your girlfriend told your mother.
She told me, yeah. When she got back
Whoa.
from St. John's on a little road trip, my girlfriend at times said, "I told your mom that you were abused."
Holy. How did that go over?
It's kind of like, man, she done my dirty work, right?
Yeah.
So as time went on, when like weeks after this, there'd be times at the house like, mom, it would be the perfect time for like, mom to approach me on it and ask me about it, and nothing would happen. And I would constantly do it there. And then I started really thinking that my mom didn't give a fuck shit about me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I only found out a couple of years ago that she never did tell my mom. So I started to hate my mother for years.
Holy fuck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a big mess, man. I hated my mom. Because I didn't give a shit about me.
That would just scramble your mind.
What?
Man, that must have just scrambled your mind. Like
I hated my mom. Hated her with a passion. Like, I didn't give a shit. Like, I mean, because I thought my mom knew about it. And I thought that she didn't give a shit. And, well, anyways, I ended up going, was interested in the emergency field. After, in my 20s, I ended up working as an EMT. I ended up meeting my wife first. So she's my wife now. We had a child. But then before then, I started working on an ambulance as an EMT. Done firefighting school as well. Seen a lot of trauma with that stuff, man. There's one time in particular, we got a call to I'm trying to keep this general, so I don't like step on toes or anything. So you know what I mean, with like respect to family or whatever. But of an infant, almost a year old, who was assaulted by someone, and we had to work on the boy, and which was 7 days difference with my son, and they're waiting at that time. They never had a flight team, which the way they do now in Newfoundland. So we had to wait for the plane to land and all this other equipment to come down, and we were going up with the baby, and baby had like you know, pads all over him, patches. He was totally unconscious. He was unconscious. He was
take your time, buddy. It's okay.
And anyways, my son was about 7 days difference. I found out after, and got so fucked up over it because you got kids of your own when they're 1 year old, man, they usually got the same physical looks, man. They got my little pot belly or a little blonde hair, and I actually made myself believe that my son is lying in the bed.
Oh yeah, man, it's so easy to see your own child there.
Yeah, and I worked out for like probably 2 or 3 hours while waiting for this, you know, and then the air ambulance arrived there, like we brought him up there. I couldn't watch my son sleep for months. That was rough, man. I had a lot of nightmares over that, a lot of anger.
I bet, yeah.
The person who is in jail now.
Yeah.
Like I want to fucking beat his face in, man.
Yeah.
That was in February or late January of 2007, and then June of 2007 I started at the fire department, or July of 2007 I started at the fire department. I was there for 3 days. On the third day we got a call. A guy was on his way to a festival in Grand Falls, and he flipped his car and burned to death in the car. Only about 20 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much stuff going on there, and just constantly building up, not seeking help, just letting the pot, you know, putting on boil and just waiting for it to steam. And my worst one was a couple of years ago, I should say. When my female abuser started working at a daycare, and nothing came out about my abuse.
Right.
So I decided if she would have touched another child and I knew what she'd done, I'd feel responsible. You know, if she would have, and I don't want no kid to live the bullshit stuff I've lived. I mean, you know.
Totally, yeah.
It all came open. And then all of a sudden, I mean, I'm not into this court bullshit. I mean, pictures in the paper or whatever. They don't do nothing for me, therapy-wise. They just cut the ties and try to walk away from it. The damage is done, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I just don't want it happen to no one else. And she ended up flipping the story and saying that I raped her.
Whoa!
So, oh, yeah. And I went downhill after that. Long going to work and... well, half the family, I could feel, half the family believed her, and the other half I was a victim. So, I mean, of course, a small spot, man. You wear a shirt yesterday, people's gonna know that you wore it again today. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff that goes out, like people you see, a lot of trigger stuff.
So apparently you were a strong 9-year-old.
What?
Apparently you were a strong kid.
Yeah.
In their mind.
Suicide attempts, you know, many times. I would put on this mask as like trying to be like a cock of the walk and stuff, man. But I was fucking hurt, man. I felt like I had no one to turn to, like at all. Like it was just me in the world, and that was a bastard too. Just trying to, you know. A few years ago, it was back in 2015. There was many calls and stuff besides that. We've been able to try to share a couple. In 2015, working with the fire department, I ended up leaving the ambulance service. And we had, the way it is out here, if there's a code or some type of respiratory code, like, you know, heart attack, something there, they usually send 2 ambulances to that location because there's so much work that to be done. But if there's 1 ambulance not available, they'll send the fire department as well. But the spring of 2015, our shift in particular, and because I worked on the ambulance, they would use me to, I guess, the best skills, I guess, you know. We had like, I think it was probably 8 or 10 like deaths. So, I mean, all this shit, man, just building up, and then like if they die, you start saying, man, like, what did I do that wasn't right? You know what I mean? They start blaming yourself, and I usually get attached to people. I start creeping them out on Facebook. I start seeing when their funeral is, and like it gets fucking nuts, man. Like, and one time in particular, I'll never forget it. There's one call we went into to say grandfather's age, who was on the floor, unresponsive, signs of a heart attack or something. When we went in at the time, I mean, I didn't know if they had carpet or hardwood. I wouldn't know if they had pictures of family. I didn't. I went so tunnel vision, man. It was crazy. But that night when I went home, I lied down. It was almost like my brain said, "Oh yeah, you forgot this. Let me remind you about the sounds." And then I started lying down. I could hear the grandkids screaming out "Poppy." I can hear and I could see it. And I was almost like I was like an angel. I was like an outer body experience, like looking at myself, and I could see the surroundings. Man, that was. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just is shitty, man. I mean, man. All that, man. Just you get stuck in that flashback type odd things that you didn't think that you can remember. Your brain's like it throws it at you. You know what I mean? Like,
brother, you're a first responder, man. Like the stuff first responders see and the stuff firefighters see is you got to wear the boots to understand.
You do, but you also got to swallow your pride a bit too and say, you know what, no matter what the call is, there's none of this stuff men don't cry or women, you know, or the workforce. Like we're now, same thing in the military. No difference between you and Jojo down the street. We all got the same feelings, the same emotions.
Yeah.
And back years ago in the fire service, you know, like that stuff bothers you. What are you here for? You know what I mean? Like suck it up, buttercup type thing, right? It's not like that at all. But like that would stick with a lot of people. So I mean, I think the biggest thing, you got to swallow your pride of it and say, you know what, I got to take everything that comes at life at you and just kind of like.
Yeah, well, people when we were kids, but I mean, so many people grew up watching the TV shows and the movies where, you know, the guy rescues the baby from a burning building. They never shows that he goes home and has issues or nightmares. They just show he's, you know, Mr. Cool Guy, right? So
Yeah.
no one expects you to have any kind of issues.
No.
Brenda says, thanks for your courage, and she sends some hugs. Yeah. Going back here. And she also says, not many people understand the effects of first responders.
No.
Brenda also says, seeking help is brave. And she's right. Seeking help is brave. That's one of the biggest steps is admitting, you know, something's going on. Something's not right.
That's the first step. I mean, if you don't have that step down, I mean, you can do whatever you want, man. You ain't going to do shit. I mean, once you realize that there's something like, I know, like, especially in 2015, what broke the camel's back type thing, we had a call, and this was all probably the spring before that, it was like probably 8 or 10 like deaths and stuff. But we got a call. I just couldn't take no more. I'll still never forget it. My wife would vouch for me. I was in Lazy Slipper Road. I got off that night, and in the morning I picked up coffee and I said, man, I'm done. I can't keep going with these demons, man. I can't do it. Who am I?
Yeah.
The true Mark is somewhere in my body, and I can't find him.
Yeah.
And then you walk around town, and I bump into my abuser, and what pissed me off a lot is that she done what she did, and she moved on with life. But I'm still got scars all over me.
Yeah.
And it fucking pisses me off, man, like that. And I feel like, okay, like I feel like you're winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. And then, but I mean, that when back again in 2015, I got off that morning and I said, you know what? I'm just going to go out in the woods. I'm done. I'm totally done. And anyways, one guy texted me and I was in there, had the rope in the trunk and talked me out of it. How serious was I with doing it? I don't know. But we had to work that night again, and I forced myself to go back to work because I've been using sick days like crazy because I just have a shitty day or a shitty whatever, and I just call in sick. I can never bank sick time.
Yeah.
But that night we got a call up in Lisbon Street area for a house fire. We didn't think much of it, sometimes false alarms, whatever. But me personally, I always think the worst. I think that people come out with, like, I try to prep my mind to, like, this is like the goriest scene you'll ever see in your life. Because when I get there, it's not going to be that bad. So with my expectations, you know what I mean? I don't know if it makes any bit of sense.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Though, like, I try to make it more, I prep my brain to be as gory as I can picture it. So that when I get there, okay, it's not so bad. Instead of being the other way around, right?
Yeah, you're trying to almost prep yourself.
Yeah. So when we got there, it was a apartment building, and it was only me and Captain Rod there, and you could see it was on the bottom floor, and the smoke was coming through the door and all that stuff, and it was locked, and you couldn't get, no one had a key and that, no one answered. So anyways, I ended up kicking the door in and start screaming out. Like we had no reasoning for anyone being there. Not reasoning, but we had no information of someone still being there. And I screamed out just to far from him. You can hear me, just follow me, because I had no breathing apparatus on at the time. Trucks were en route, had no hose. I couldn't do nothing. So, I mean, I put my life in danger just to go in. I couldn't see nothing anyway. It was so black.
Yeah.
Anyways, when the guys came in with the sets and stuff, I ran out and hooked up to a hydrant. And because where I worked on the medical side and the animal stuff, I'd always be used for patient care because I guess where I was working at it and whatever. Anyways, my captain yelled out, "We got someone." So we brought her out. She was unresponsive, no heart rhythm, no nothing. We ended up getting something back, and she's living to this day. Went in the back of the ambulance, getting ready to go to Western with the ambulance crew, and then all of a sudden my captain pounded on the door again. We got someone else. And my heart, man, went up to the fucking roof. Because I thought, okay, adrenaline's here. I never had 2 shots of adrenaline before. And it's a wonderful drug at times. But it was a 16-year-old girl came out. And everyone went to see her. She was gone. I worked on her as much as I was crying, man, to be honest with you. It was a sin, man. It was like so innocent. And, like, she's so much to live for. She hadn't even started life yet. And I was giving chest compressions on her, man, and I, like, we got in the back of the ambulance, and I ended up going with her to the crash room. And then that's what broke everything, man. I would dream about her.
Mm-hmm.
I'd dream about her lying down, man, and I'd be giving chest compressions, and she'd be laughing at me.
Oh, my gosh.
I just smell, yeah.
Oh.
Like, looking at me, laughing at me.
Oh, man.
I'd have dreams of running through the woods, and this dark figure would be following me. But he'd be, remember like back in the 80s? Yeah, like
I've had that dream.
As fast as you can.
I've had that dream where there's a shadow chasing you.
You can run. Remember back in the 80s, like this Freddy Krueger, you can run as fast as you can, and he can like tiptoe, but he's always behind you.
Yeah, man, the Jason Voorhees guy.
Yeah. But I'd be running through the woods, and the son of a bitch would always be behind me, and he was just dark. He wasn't like a black man; he was just dark.
Yep.
And there'd be times I'd be watching my funeral at the cathedral here in town, up on the upper deck.
Yep.
I've had that many times. Watching my family like weep and mourn, like, and then last year it was the first time I ever worked on a family member.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, I got called out to my I was sitting in on the toilet, and my grandmother lives there off Allen's Road there in Curling, and
I know Allen's Road, yeah.
Huh?
I said I know Allen's Road.
Yeah, and it was my uncle. He's only 43,
yeah,
44.
Shit, man.
He lived with my grandmother, and anyways, I was in the washroom, and my wife came on the door, and she said, "Yeah, your Uncle Brian is down unresponsive at your grandmother's on my grandmother's birthday."
Jesus.
And we went in, and I drove down like a bastard. Now I went down to my grandmother's. I would never go down there because she lives in a small house and all this other stuff. And I'm not very good for tight spaces, man. Back with the anxiety and stuff, I hate pizza.
Yeah, understandable.
I feel like I'm in a room without any doors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that day, that was gone, man. I had no anxiety, no nothing. I had to go down, and that was probably the first time I've been down my grandmother. She only lives like 2 minutes away, and I helped. We went into my grandmother's, and my uncle was there, and it was crazy because I thought I'd go down, and the ambulance crew would be gone, and I was on my days off. Anyways, when I got down there, the ambulance was just getting there, so I ended up getting in the back of the ambulance with my uncle, helped work on him.
Yeah.
And as soon as they shut the doors, he was perfect for my grandmother. He looked just perfect. He looked like he was drunk. But he had a massive stroke. But as soon as they shut the doors and I got in the back, man, it was like someone fighting for their fucking life, man.
Yeah.
And it killed me. And I got so pissed off at my anxiety, my depression, and my PTSD that it kept me from family members, man. It kept me away from social things, like social gatherings, because I couldn't face the fact of being in a small room, and I got pissed off at that. I could have been close with my family,
yeah,
because this fucking disease or whatever you want to call it has kept me away from people that I love, and I felt like it backfired on me, so I felt like I couldn't leave them now.
Yeah.
So I spent the whole week in the hospital with him up in ICU, and he later passed, and then
sorry to hear that, man.
It was constantly just fucking roller coaster after roller coaster, man. I mean, it doesn't matter what I go through or you go through, but the aftermath is the same shit, man.
Yeah.
It's the same. It doesn't matter if you're raped or in a verbal relationship. It doesn't matter the cause. The result is the aftermath that we're all in the same boat, man.
Yeah.
And it sucks ass. And
right.
I remember someone asked me, they said, what's it like? I mean, I ended up getting diagnosed, seeing Donna McClellan, actually. I don't know if you know her. She's amazing. No. She deals a lot with the military, but she's a psychiatrist here.
Yeah.
But she asked me, like, how do you feel? And the only way I could tell her is, like, I feel like at times that I'm in a theater by myself, in a dark theater, watching horror flicks of my life. And that's the only way I can really explain it.
Yeah.
And I have no control of getting up or sitting down. I'm stuck there. But right now, like, April past is actually when I joined. I reached out to you. I was home here. I was at work, actually, and it was during the day, and I was done. I finished life. I mean, it was a selfish thing, but I didn't care about no one else but myself. I'm done. I went up to my captain. I said, my stomach's rumbling a bit. It was on a Saturday. I said, mark me up 1 o'clock in the afternoon. How you going to go home sick by? For all intentions of ending my life. I came home, told the missus I wanted to just go for a walk by myself, listen to some tunes, just want to be by myself. She understands and she knows that at times like just leave me alone, let me have my space. And I gave the kids a kiss and stuff, the wet kiss, like as if I'm going to the store, man. It wasn't none of these big hugs and I love you forever and none of this stuff, just a little kiss.
But you have full intentions of doing something, man.
Huh?
I said you were just giving him a goodbye, not even a goodbye kiss. You were just a normal kiss, and you had.
I said no.
You have bad intentions.
For 2.5 hours, man, and just everything going through me is screeching and.
Yeah.
And just it's almost like a flood of just that chest inside you, man, just floods out.
You were like looking for a release, eh?
What?
Was it like looking for a release?
Yeah. I just couldn't get. I couldn't get like it was almost like I don't know. I couldn't. What? I couldn't find. I couldn't deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
And anyways, I mean, I was on certain pills at the time. I was on Celexa for years. They were horrible.
Fuck, I know that pill.
Oh man.
Goodbye, sex life.
Was that?
For me, it was goodbye, sex life.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. It wasn't so bad with that. I'm on Effexor now, and I'm on like four or five different ones. But like these ones now I'm on now, Effexor, like my sex drive. I don't even know what that means anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm only 35 years old. I mean, we're in the prime.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, and I said to my wife there the other night, I said, what is it doing to my body? Is first of all, I don't know what it's doing to me mentally.
No.
It's affecting other things. You know
God knows
what I mean?
what's doing to your kidneys when you're on 4 or 5 different pills.
Yeah. Actually, I think you were saying last night, was it you saying about one of your buddies?
Yeah. He's on a pill for his kidneys.
What? Pumping him like a lab rat.
Yeah, he was on so many different pills. None of them I can spell.
No, I don't even know what half of them are, man.
I know, it drives me because they're always like, I start a new doctor, right? Mr. McWhorter, can you list your previous medications? Not a fucking chance, man. Not a fucking chance. They're all fucking big, long, 10-letter words, okay? Yeah. All I got is 4-letter words. Fuck, okay?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Yeah, and he'll start naming mine. Go, yeah, that sounds like one. Yeah.
Yeah. The pink one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but in April, when that happened, I ended up getting tackled. I mean, that was it. I was totally. I don't know what got me out of it. I ended up reaching out to a friend of mine who was a pastor at church, like Texan wise, and he was there for 2 hours. I was totally done, man. Like, and I even walking in, man, I was happy. Like, it was weird.
Yeah.
I remember there's 2 men walking separately in behind Bowwaters with like Tor's frog ponds. If you're familiar with it.
Yep.
And they're just out for a normal walk, and I actually was singing. I'm like, oh my God, these 2 men are going to be the last people who sees me alive. Like, I was actually
Jesus, man.
And like when I got down there to a spot that I had thought about, or ever do it, I just where I go. He talked me out of it, and then I just the drinking just fucking got insane. Then I ended up having almost like a mini intervention at my boy. One of the guys I worked with, my captain's house. He done it just to say drop up, have a coffee or something out there, and I was drinking. Drove up there too, which was stupid, but at the time he didn't give a shit. And he had like a mini intervention there. They brought me they talked me in after about 3 or 4 hours of going into the hospital. And I ended up going on the 4th floor of the psychiatric ward for like 10 days.
Yep.
I don't know. And I've been off work ever since. So
yeah,
trying to mess with, trying to prove to workers' compensation that, well, first of all, when you fill out workers' compensation, it has nothing to do with mental illness.
Okay.
Because I remember reading about something, just at a provincial level now, I ended up reading that apparently by the year 2020, biggest, highest reasoning of work-related illnesses will be mental stress.
Yeah.
So all said and done, I mean, Newfoundlander Beyond Times, their form alone is all about physical injury. And it's hard to fill out for when I got nothing to do with it. So that's the boat I'm in now. I'm seeing a psychiatrist now who's amazing. Learning a lot of techniques, man. I've never, like combat breathing, progressive meditation, which is pretty cool. I was a bit iffy on it before, but when I tried, it was amazing. I've been dry now for almost 3 weeks, which
Good for you, buddy.
hard because I was a crotch, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much almost drinking every night before.
That's your social anxiety pill?
Yeah, I got the pills for that. I got pills for nightmares. That's why I don't have a pill to do me poop or anything. But it seems like I'd never ever heard of a pill for nightmare, but I mean they're all right, I guess. I can't remember dreams, but
no.
They're usually shit. They're usually something shit.
I'm not saying it's a cure, but I got a marijuana prescription, and the marijuana really has worked for me for dreams.
It's what?
Yeah. Brenda's watching. Brenda says she was a 911 dispatcher, and the calls do get harder when it's a family member. She was watching when you were talking about the family member.
Yeah.
She says she was a dispatcher for her nephew's car fatality. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Brenda.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, when it comes to that stuff, as hard as it is it's hard for me personally. It's hard for me to go to a call and cut the tie and leave and not. I mean, I got to check up on them somehow. I'll ask someone or ask paramedics. But when it's your own family member, I mean, it's a different ballgame, man. I don't know, man.
It's got to be harder. It's got to be so much harder. Like,
yeah, it is, because you see, like, I don't know. I can't even really explain it by
in my mind, like when it's someone you don't know, you go through your drills. But when it's someone you know, someone you care about, it's got to be like a bit of panic set in, or like you could go to a bit of a shock for a second. Like, I can't believe.
I find it hard when your body's trying to go to that fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
And then you're fighting at the fight. You know what I mean? You're trying to say, "Hold on, body, we can't be at that." I mean, that fucks anyone up. Me personally, I mean, when you go to that. Your body's trying to flee from something. Same thing with you in the military, man. Your body probably picked in places like you should run now, but you can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, after time, man,
I used to get angry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my thing. I got angry right in the middle of a firefight. I get angry. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I've also had to deal with like a shock to the system. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, maybe a month ago, not even a month ago. My son, who's 16, his best friend drowned. His best friend drowned in an accident. Jumped in the water, never came up. Best we can tell is he hit his head. But this kid was over at my house all the time, so I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a hard time with it. But when it first happened, it was like my mind wouldn't accept it. I'm like, that? No. Like, I believed it. But there was no emotion. Like, I'm like, no, never happened. This kid was an amazing, smart, great kid, and so like it was like, no, this kind of shit doesn't happen, right? And 2 days later, like I can't even talk to somebody. I'm bawling my eyes out over it, right? It's finally it took that long to set into my head, right?
Yeah, I know, but.
Yeah.
No,
so I know what you mean, yeah.
And the best thing and it's shitty though, I mean, I got 2 kids, man, a boy and a girl, but in a shitty way, in a good way, I guess. I mean, you can pick up, say with your son, you can pick up on the early signs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is a good thing, which it sucks for me and you, but at least you can pick up on small stuff with your kids, because I mean, you give your life up to your kids. I mean, same thing. I mean, I'm a bit too overprotective of my kids. Especially with the abuse and stuff, like I picks and choose who, you know what I mean?
My kids can pick up on my shit, man.
What?
Man, there are times like I've walked through the mall with my kids, and they know when I'm triggered, and I've had my son actually take me by the hand. Come on, Dad, I need you to take me to go to the bathroom. Get into the bathroom, and he's like, Dad, are you okay? I can tell you're triggered. And I'm like, holy fuck, you smart kid, right? Kids are smart, man. I quickly learned that I can't hide PTSD from the kids, because the kids will just think I'm a hermit down in the basement, right? Yeah. And my kids know know lots of information on PTSD, well, I shouldn't say about PTSD. They know their dad's PTSD. They know dad's triggers and stuff, and they know to stay the fuck away when Toronto Maple Leafs is on. You know?
Yeah. Well, my son been I mean, it's only now that I'm actually, for me, I'm starting to gradually see light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep.
Now, my son, same thing. Your kids have seen times that I don't know how to take my dad. Is he what moves he in today?
Yep.
It's like a game ball. You know what I mean?
They've seen the highs and lows.
Same thing with you. Like anger was a big thing, man. Just, I mean, I'd argue with the wife like the colors apple should be. You know what I mean? Like, and I would get, I wouldn't get violent. I never hit her, but I'd have to leave. I mean, there's anger problems like crazy, right?
Yeah.
But like,
throw one of those test jokes to see how thick the ice is today, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Dad's in the mood, and I'm not gonna say nothing else.
Yeah. Well, even actually got to a point with me and my wife. My wife left me back in 2012. Doomsday here. She left me 2012. She was totally gone, man. She's so supportive, man. But there's, I mean, same thing with your wife. And comes a point in time like she would constantly be filling my glass full, say. Because I'm always half empty. So she's constantly filling up my glass for me to be, you know, that person of support. But like, comes a point now she's half empty. You know what I mean? Like, no one there to fill her up or be there for her. And I think it just got to the point with her at that time that this is not what I want.
Yeah.
But now every doctor session I go to, or even like seeing this psychiatrist, I include her in it. She wants to be part of it because PTSD is not something that you're going to be cured from or next day. I think personally you have to accept it, and I think you have to know how to manage it.
Yeah. I find that when you get PTSD, you've changed. Your emotions have changed. Your control over your emotions have changed, and you're a different person. So now that you're a different person in such a short time, you got to learn to be a different person.
Yeah.
Definitely. Right. And life will eventually get easier again. It just takes time.
Yeah. It takes time. It takes a lot of work too, man.
There it is. It takes work too. Exactly, buddy. It takes work too.
You can't sit back and expect someone to get a doctor, give you a pill, and all of a sudden, you know, you're gonna be happy within a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? It's just something to get you over a hump. That's all it's for. Me personally, that's what I think is something to get you over that little hump so that you can stand back up and find the tools you need to get through life's bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I dealt a lot with social anxiety, man.
I used to sit back and think that my life is shit when I would not even realize what I got blessed in my life or anything. I take kind of life for granted, you know what I mean? Like how much, you know, I got 2 kids, they're healthy. I mean, some people are fighting just to have kids. I got a wife that's there. I got a roof over my house.
Yeah.
I mean, I can work the streets at night and hear me bitching and complaining because I can't go to a small enclosed spot. You know, as hard as it is, you guys try to think outside the box, and it's really freaking hard, man, because all I want to speak is negativity. That's all I find lots of people.
Well, sometimes it's easier to see the negative. We don't, you know, we don't see the positive.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Well,
I've been there, and I know what you mean about it taking work. I still deal with social anxiety, and my wife is helping me and helped me beat it. She got me going into public places, man. I mean, I'm not going to beat social anxiety by sitting in my basement. I had to get it to the malls and get it and do stuff. And
I mean, I remember I went to your the luncheon thing they had here. You were here, Rotary, I think. Was it Rotary head? I remember I was seeing you here. It was at the Glen Land.
Yes.
And just for you to remember that now? Or not the Holiday Inn, sorry.
Holiday Inn, yeah.
And you got that. I mean, just to get up and speak, man, like where you've probably been and where you're at now, man, is a big accomplishment.
Yeah, I got to get and do it again because I'm doing one here in St. John's on the 27th. It seems like everywhere and every time I've done it, you've had to pay or someone's had to register and stuff like that. So this one where I'm doing it, you don't have to do anything. You just got to walk into the door and sit down.
Nice.
Right? And it's in the Legion. There's going to be a bar there, so what else do you need?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, definitely, man.
But,
definitely.
Yeah, I remember doing the speech back then, and I want to do it again because I think my speech is better now. A lot more has changed since then. And
you probably have more confidence in yourself now, too, to it. You know, I don't know what you're like then, but like for getting up, you know what I mean?
I got a PowerPoint presentation with me now, so I got pictures and little videos and stuff. So I was
yeah.
As I'm telling the story, a picture comes up, and so you got a picture to go with the story. It looks better, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind? We've heard a lot. You deal a lot with anger and stuff. What other kind of symptoms have you had? And what do you do to help control those symptoms?
Before, I mean, to be totally honest with you, like when I would go through stuff, I'd use laying drum.
Yep.
And I was saying to you, there's a happy button I would always strive for when it came to that, and it would I'd feel it too, man. It's almost like I actually do hit a button.
So you weren't drinking to get drunk. You were just trying to hit that brave stage. That you weren't drinking to get drunk. You were just trying to get that level, that stage where you're brave, where you're
relaxation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost like in between. You want to call it like buzz and drunk. Just in between is that I'm just really relaxed. I can laugh. I can cry. Not cry. I was all happy, like the party goer type style. That type of thing. And like I would hit that, and I'd be so relaxed, and then you start finding out, okay, maybe I got to drink a flask to get to that point. Then over time, not very long, that flask ain't doing shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things starts realizing I'm not hitting that point now, and then when you start like back when I'm seeing a psychiatrist and stuff, like right now I feel good.
Yeah.
So but because I was going through so much shit and I used the bottle, it continued to still depend on it, even though I used to say, well, what am I drinking for? I'm not even going through anything right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I felt between that and smoking, I felt like someone.
It's almost like it was your medication that you had to take for the day.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
And mixing that with, as a person myself, mixing that with the new meds that are trying to, like a lab rat, I calls it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's going to have effects on that because, I mean, we all know that stuff, rum or drinking and that stuff is a depressant. At the time, you don't really give a shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, me and you talked before we went live here, and we both said, there's two types of people that we are. We're either the type of person that sees a car coming in the driveway, and you peek out the curtain going, holy fuck, who the fuck is this now? I don't want to see this person. Or you're the type of person that opens up the curtain and go, oh, who the fuck is this? Oh, yeah, someone's here, right? And you could be, depending on the day, you could be either or.
Yeah. And I actually, at the beginning, and I don't know if any viewers would at the beginning, I was getting diagnosed with bipolar.
Right, yeah.
And usually, and what I've gathered, usually that's the first diagnosis. It's someone who has PTSD because your mood swings is like a roller coaster, a good week, bad week. And it's like, you know what I mean? So they automatically, so if a doctor is diagnosed you with bipolar, I mean, I wouldn't settle on that if you have some type of, history of some type of stuff you've been through, because that's usually what they were going to diagnose me, and I wouldn't accept that at all, right? Yeah. But I actually found out, besides Google, I had no idea, but I actually, from a doctor now, I have complex PTSD, which is all it boils down to is multiple traumas, that's all. So.
Okay. Yeah. So, you ever deal with panic attacks?
Oh, I hate home, man.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet Moses. Yeah, they're brutal. Yeah, I wouldn't. I feels like I have one. I tell you, I don't know if you're like this, but I have like three comfort zones. I call it. I got at work, and when I go to work, I work with the same group of guys. Right? It's not. Yep. So if I go to work, I know who I'm working with. When I go to my parents, I know that there's only my mom and my dad there, and when I'm home. But if I get anyone who's different in any of those environments, I get, like if someone visits my parents while I'm there, I can feel it. Right. I feel it coming on, and I gotta get out of there. It's like I'm used to those three environments, or three places, right. And if someone messes that up, if I get a visitor come to my house, I find it really hard, or even like at my parents' house. But I remember my dad had a party. It wasn't about the party. It was for his birthday. And when I got there was hardly anyone there. No one there actually. And by the time that I realized it was a kitchen party, that was the only way for me to get down to leave the house. I had to go through the kitchen and go downstairs to get my shoes. And man, I tell you, I felt like I was going through the trenches in Iraq or something. Man, I felt I couldn't. I was planning it out, man. I was thinking I couldn't even be in the location, like.
Yeah. Oh man, I've been there, man.
Felt like everyone was waiting for you to go through so they can jump you.
Yeah.
It was a weird fucking feeling, man. And it took me like an hour to leave my fucking parents' house, man. And I mean, same thing with your parents. I mean, that's home, right?
I've sat at people's houses, at parties or whatever, in the living room, busting for a piss, but won't get up to go to the bathroom because I didn't want to get up and walk through a crowd of people.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
You know, like weird, stupid things like that. Just don't want to draw any kind of attention whatsoever.
Yeah. I tell you another thing I've learned, besides memory, my memory is shot. I don't know, I've talked to a few police officers who've gone through stuff. Their memories are, like my memory is ridiculous bad, man. I don't know, is yours?
Oh, don't even talk, man. I don't remember nothing.
Yeah. Like I can go to work and do my job, but don't ask me what I eat yesterday, or it's probably not too bad, but like I can't remember stuff in my kid's life that I should know. You know what I mean? Just stuff that I should really know, like going, like I'll argue with the wife. No, I seriously can't remember, you know what I mean?
I got full things, like events from Afghanistan that I don't remember. I got people that I work with in Afghanistan. Come home in Newfoundland. When I got posted in Newfoundland, there was a warrant here in the building. He came up talking to me like fucking like we know each other for years. I have no idea who this person was. Then he starts showing me pictures of me and him together. Me and him together in Cyprus too, for fuck's sakes. And I'm like, I don't... Right? He even showed me a picture where I'm passed out in one bed and he's passed out on the floor next to me. Right? I'm like, fucking... And,
that's spooky.
Yeah,
that's
and like
spooky.
It's all gone, man.
Wow.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a time when you were driving where you go from point A to point B and you don't remember driving there?
Definitely.
That's creepy too.
That is creepy, yeah. And then you start, it's almost like, and another thing, I couldn't read no books or none of this shit. I even still got your book here. I'll probably start reading it soon. I picked it up, but I can't read. See, not that I can't read, I couldn't mentally read because I was almost saying reading, like you would read and you're gone off to like Disneyland in your head.
Yep.
You're still reading. The same thing, and like you're going through whatever shit in your head.
It's like something's in your brain blocking it.
Yeah.
It's not registering, and you're like, you read it out loud and everything. I find I'd be reading the top of the page and just keep reading, and I think I'm understanding it, and then I get to the bottom and I forget what the fuck is said on the top.
I can't read. No, I takes. It's almost like yeah. And then you start saying to yourself, man, am I stoned? Am I stupid? Or am I, you know what I mean?
And then you get angry.
You get angry. It's almost like in my head, do I have like a learning disability or something? Like, because you can read something.
Yeah.
You read, say, your chapter. So if I read a chapter in your book, the next day I won't have a fucking clue what that chapter's about. Same thing playing guitar. I stopped doing that because I can play a guitar that, say, if there's 4 or 5 easy chords in it.
Yeah.
And one of your favorite songs, the next day, it's gone. I don't have a fucking clue.
Yeah, gone.
It was like all this shit that you would, that I used to find therapeutic was guitar and stuff, because I mean, you're learning something and there's a positive outcome. You learn the song, you know what I mean? There's something positive at the end of it.
Yeah.
And then, like, you can even do that shit, you know what I mean? The only thing I'm doing now, boys, I'm trying to suck in all the warm off, trying to suck in all the weather and just going out in nature, man, going out in a raft. I tell you this, the work for me, I goes out in the pond in a raft, and I got like one that I can pretty much lie in, and I just lie there, man. I don't paddle, I just lie there, man.
Nature's huge, man.
Oh, it's...
Nature's big time huge, man. It's almost like a cleansing.
It definitely is, yeah.
Yeah. Get as much of that as you can. I highly recommend it. Sun, you know, the vitamin D and everything.
Oh, man.
I don't get it in St. John's, but, you know, I heard about it.
When it comes to, like, PTSD and stuff, it's not really known for, like, first responders here in Newfoundland in the provincial level.
Yep.
I know RCMP is federal and same thing military, and you guys got your own. And I mean, I was going for years. Only like 2 years ago we started having instant stress debriefings. We wouldn't even have that before.
Yeah.
Which was fucking nuts, right? Like, I mean, it blows my mind. And then by the time you start realizing, you know what, like I have a problem, how much damage is gone, you realize you had that problem, right? That's the boat I was in. But I think it sucks because like it could be something that's going to be used to try to passing the house for some type of. I mean, I've been waiting on this claim now for 2.5 months for them to say, okay, you're covered. Now you break your leg at work, you see one doctor. You go off and you have mental stress at work. He wants this every bit of record I have. Like, I was surprised I never asked the last time I took a shit. He wants everything. And all these people, if I break my leg, I mean, you go off and then the government or whoever is going around supporting mental illness, but when you actually have it, I mean, it's 2.5 months I've been waiting on this claim, and I haven't heard nothing. Those 2.5 months that if I get denied, I have to pay back money, which is not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's sad to say. I think that's one of the reasons why we've lost people to suicide. Tired of waiting.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at mental illness, man, is crazy, man, and it doesn't matter who you are. You look at Linkin Park, the singer. He hung himself yesterday. I mean, doesn't matter how. Honestly, I don't know. You look at even celebrities, man. You got all the money, you got all the fame, and all that. They're still not happy. I mean, the mental illness is there. It's there for mental illness, but when you need it, in Corner right now, in 2015, when all the shit went on with me, I went to see an old lady through our EAP program, and she realized I had to see a psychiatrist. She was a social worker that was some type of specialty in trauma, or I don't know what it was actually. So she put me on an urgent to see a psychiatrist. That was 2015. I still never got a call. So there's absolutely horse shit that don't go waving the flag that you're all about in support of mental illness. There's nothing. You have nothing here at all. Nothing. There's 2 psychiatrists with Western Memorial Regional Hospital on the West Coast, and that's it. The only reason I seen a psychiatrist in Western is because I was up on the 4th floor. Besides that, I mean, there's nothing there. If someone needs help, they need it now.
Yeah.
And that's something you put on a waiting list, man. If I'm crying for help, I need help, you can't put me on a waiting list to see me in about 6 months' time. Because either it's going to be too late or whatever the case may be. There's no, I don't know what's like in other provinces or state or countries and that, but in Newfoundland in particular, it's, like you said, the mental illness. I heard you were saying the mental illness hospital is Waterford. Sure, that's the only what?
That's a great one. Yeah. Well, I think that's why there's so many different organizations popping up all around, man. I'm hearing about new groups and new organizations all the time. That's why PTSD Buddies was created. I mean, PTSD Buddies is basically a bunch of people who are on waiting lists. So instead of staying home alone on a waiting list, they're getting to know each other and they're leaning on each other and they're finding support in each other. Right?
Actually, I met a girl when I was in the hospital. She had PTSD, and in the psychiatric ward where I was too, I felt like I mean, God love her heart and stuff, but I never felt I was. This is not for me. Where I'm too, people with schizophrenia and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But I felt like there's nowhere else to put me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was a girl there who's suffering through the same thing, PTSD, she had heavy drugs and stuff. She was up there to pretty much clean herself out and draw herself out. But even when, like we were saying, when we leave out of here, after we get discharged from the hospital, now what?
Yeah.
There's no, I mean, I wasn't even given like a plan to say, you know what, before you leave, we're going to set things up so that we, at least we know that there's help for you when you get out of here. I was in the middle of the field, and I had nowhere to go, and nowhere. And then, I felt great in the hospital because all these people, they're the right people. But as soon as I got to the hospital, I was like, there's nothing.
Well, in the hospital, you're surrounded by people who kind of understand.
And this is what I was saying too. I think she's on your group somewhere. I've actually said, and even in Corner Brook, I looked around. There is people here, and I was hoping at some point in time I'll try to get the PTSD buddies to set up little meetings here and there and just sit there and just.
How does next month sound? How does next month sound? How does August sound for a PTSD buddy meeting in Corner Brook?
Yeah, and you're saying, and I look forward to hopefully get the word out, and people just, you know what, there's no.
I've been talking to a lady named Stacy who's in Corner Brook, and she's an admin for PTSD buddies. Excuse me, and she has, I believe, it's the keys to the Humber Road Summit. It's it used to be an old bar up in Humber Road or Humber Heights, but it's shut down. Well, apparently the guy who owns it, or girl, I'm not sure, knows Stacy, and Stacy was contacted them and gave her a key to use it for meetings whenever we want. Stacy has tried to hold one once, I think, or twice, and hasn't had much luck. But I'm going to be in Corner Brook next month. So I've already talked to Stacy, and we're gonna do a meeting next month in Corner Brook. Yeah. So
see
you then, man. Hopefully.
What?
I said, hopefully I'll see you then.
Yes, but sounds good, man.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. But there's more stuff. I'd rather not talk about. I'm trying to keep it behind me.
Yeah.
But
well, let's talk about the future. What's the future hold for you? What's next for you?
Future, very near future, I'm planning to go back to work with a new sound mind, hopefully. And that will meet as my profession to see stuff that is not.
Are you going back to the same profession?
What?
Are you going to go back to the same job, same profession?
I got to, but to be honest with you, I can't see myself doing anything else, man.
Yeah.
But I really can't. I think this was almost like a reset button for me.
Okay.
Right now I have no control going back to work. It's all in the doctor's hand. I have no control, which kind of sucked. I'd be gone back a month ago, but it's almost like a bit of a reset button to just get me straight. But the thing is that if anything do happen, I do have my employer's support, for everything.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, take every battle, man. Whatever life throws at you, just take it and deal with it at that time and try to move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's something I've never done. I would always let it boil up and all up until just, kettle boiled. You know what I mean?
I understand,
like boil, so
yeah, I
can't see myself doing anything. I really can't. I did adrenaline, and apparently the doctor I was seeing said a lot of, it's funny she said this because it's a couple people I know of it, but people who are in emergency first responders or even military or whatever, a lot of them, you'd be surprised, she said that how many people have been sexually abused or something like hurt of when they were younger, because that when they grow up later on in life, they want to give back and help.
Really?
So it's weird you look at it that way, and I guess along with the adrenaline that goes with it, and you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
I just can't picture doing anything else, to be honest with you.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with it, man. I hope it goes good for you.
Yeah, I hope so too. But so just
well,
if anyone's
I like to end my chats with the same question, man, all the time. Is you've been dealing with PTSD for a while. I'm sure you've learned a lot of it throughout the years. And there's probably going to be a person watching this video who is brand new to PTSD. What kind of advice, what kind of message, if there's anything you've learned about dealing with PTSD, what would it be? Like, I know for me, it was hold on to my family. My kids are a lifeline, man.
Don't kick out the people that you love. It wasn't for my wife. Been through hell and back and hell again. Just be open but if you have a wife or whatever the case would be, it'd be nice for them to look it up or look up the information on it and get the image, because not only are you at PTSD, your wife kind of has as well, because she's lived with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's a part of you. You guys get married or become one. So
yeah,
I'm going through it and she's going through it.
Well,
so
there is a thing called secondhand PTSD, isn't it? I think that's what they call it. I've heard of a thing called secondhand PTSD or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you get PTSD because you live with somebody with PTSD, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, just keep your family or whoever you trust and love, man. Just keep them close by and just don't be. You might have to swallow your pride sometimes, and and just face that. I have to reach out and find someone that you trust, or just don't be scared, and then just reach out and don't let stuff boil up inside you, and just. I mean, there's always, I'll tell you one thing. I'll never, ever, for years I always look at people who would commit suicide as selfish and all this other stuff but I'll never ever say that again, because the state of mind I was in that day and a couple times it's dark, man. So
sometimes you do it because you feel like you're doing it for someone else. You're fucking making life better by taking you out of the picture, I understand that.
Yeah, take your own life so that other people would.
They'll find someone better than you. You're doing them a favor. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, but another thing too is it's crazy that your mind is like a battleground, man. Because I remember someone told me that if you speak, you can only speak so many words a minute. Say it's 100 or 200 words a minute. But your thoughts, you can speak like 12. You can think of 1,200 things in a minute. So is your mind, like just you sitting there and just constantly thinking how much of a mess you can gradually put yourself more into. You know what I mean? It's just you just gotta try, man. You gotta fight, man. You gotta fight. That's all.
Yeah.
You gotta learn more about what's going on with you, and you gotta find some way of managing that. And drinking and stuff there is going to make things worse, man. You think is that Band-Aid that's going to help in that, but man, if you're taking meds and stuff, man, it's just going to work against everything that you're doing. So just like I said, man, you just gotta open up. You gotta, like I said, you gotta accept that you have some type of mental illness, and you just, like I said, look it up and wasp. You gotta accept it by. That's pretty much it. But like I said, you're not alone, man. Like, and just think, if you did, like for me, I looked at if I did in my life, like at the time, I thought I was going to make everyone happy and okay, move on. But look at my kids, my daughter's going to be walking down the aisle with another man, that is not her father, and stuff my son I'm going to miss out on, and my wife's going to be scarred for years, and then leave. I mean, it's just, you gotta think outside the box, man. You just gotta, you are here on this earth for a reason, man. You have a purpose in this life, and whatever that purpose is, if you don't know what it is, man, just keep searching and just keep seeking. And the way I look at it, at the end of the day, is that we all got a story.
Yeah.
We all got a shitty fucking ass story, whatever the case may be. But look how precious that story is for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my fault. Me personally, is I'm kind of like, I have so much like treasured stuff inside of us that, you must have been to a doctor and to a psychiatrist or someone being that, or a friend and someone on the other side will say, yeah, I know how you feel, but don't have to fucking clue.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
Because he probably read that in chapter 14 in his school, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, man, this site, this PTSD buddies, man, just, you can get past this bullshit and manage it. You can be so much of an inspiration to many other people, man. Like, take what you've been through as you conquered something.
Yeah.
Like, live, like, that you surpassed something, and look how strong of a person that we're all sitting here on this PTSD buddies and how far we've come.
Yeah.
Shitty folks that, you can take, live life as a victim, or you can take it and say, I live life as someone who accomplished, and look how strong I am today. And to give that back to someone who's going through that, man, it's precious, man.
I agree with it.
You know what I mean? And that, me personally, and you, and you're doing it, is to take those shitty ass fucking horror flicks, like I said, and turn it into, this was me, this is what I went through, but look at me now. Yep. You can do it. You can do it. And mean, you've reached out to so many people, man, and you gave hope to so many people that there was no light at the end of the tunnel. But
and we're all doing it together, man.
It's only started.
Yeah, we're all doing it together. Listen, man, thanks so much for having a chat with me, man. It's been one of the best ones. I guarantee you, it's been a powerful one.
Cool, man.
All right, and we're gonna meet each other next month in a meeting in Corner Brook. All right.
Sounds good, man. Can't wait.
All right, buddy. Take care of yourself.
You too, man.
All right, cheers. Well, that was a good one, hey guys. That was a powerful one. Thanks so much, man, for the chat. It was a great one. My hats are always off to first responders all over the world. They see the worst of the worst every day, and a lot of times we forget that they're human beings, and they're going to come home to a world of mixed emotions, right? And sometimes their work follows them home. So big thanks to them and thank them for their service. All right. So it was a great chat. We got more coming up again soon. Hey, Leslie, you made it this time, eh? We got more coming up soon. If you want to have a chat with me sometime, just send me a message and we'll gear up a time. And there hasn't been too many questions on chats, so don't forget, you can ask a question. I'll read it out and we'll answer them all live during the chat. All right? And if you missed it, you can check this chat out on YouTube. All right, guys? Have a good night. Cheers.